The next thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is our AP program, which is offered at the high school level. An AP course stands for an advanced placement course, and that's a high school level course that's comparable to an introductory college class. Each AP course culminates in a standardized college level AP exam, which is offered by the College Board in the first 2 weeks of May. Vineland High School offers 26 different AP courses in the areas of math, English, science, social studies, art, music, and computer science. What we've tried to do is really promote a culture of taking AP, and we have definitely helped to reach many more students. And what those students are doing by virtue of passing the AP test is earning themselves college level credit while taking a course here in high school. And not just that, but the Board of Education and Central Administration of Vineland Public Schools has agreed to fund all of the AP tests for our students. So as long as the children are willing to sit for 3 hours, we in Vineland Public Schools and at Vineland High School recognize that effort and will pay. So the children are basically earning college credits entirely for free, which is a wonderful opportunity for our children.
I'm Matthew Bambling, the AP chemistry teacher here at Vineland High School. I'm going to recommend any AP to any student. AP courses tend to be rigorous, but so is life and so is college. So anybody wanting a challenge should come do an AP. With AP chemistry, we're going to try to focus on a lot of the chemistry aspects. But the big thing with AP chemistry is learning science skills. And science skills are things that translate to pretty much any topic, which is something I like to always boast about with my students. If you're a good chemist, you're usually a good mathematician, you're usually a good writer. So any science is something I'm going to recommend. But with AP comes challenges. Without the challenge, it wouldn't really be worth taking. So if you're up for a challenge, want to be tested, want to see what college is like, chemistry students can make a lot of money after college in different career fields. And with New Jersey being a high producer of a lot of goods, there is a lot of need for analytical chemists. So students can stay local. There's also multiple opportunities in different states, different countries for high-level chemists. So if you do go onto this path, there are a lot of good opportunities awaiting you in the future.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Villar. I teach the Advanced Placement Environmental Science class here at Vineland High School. The course is made up of students from 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. I think AP classes are really important for kids. They do help challenge them academically, and it does give them a sample of what the rigor would be like at a college level class. And then some of these courses, AP courses like mine, can introduce them into fields that they've never been introduced before during their regular classes. So some of the things that we do in here to help them with those challenges is we do have days like at the end of the week where it's like, okay, this is your catch-up day, teaching the kids how to, self-manage, because that's some of the other things, time management skills, making sure, you follow due dates, but you have this amount of time to finish your tasks. So you have to, which each lab we do or assignment, you got to work through them and keep their pacing, but put it on them to start, self-managing or self-motivating them to get their stuff done. With the studying now, especially with the internet, there's so many different ways the kids can study. They have games that they can do, review games, online flashcards. The College Board has videos, so if they want to watch videos, they can watch videos. I have supplemental worksheets. Some of the kids have the textbooks. They like to read the textbook. So giving the variation of studying techniques and trying to, this student uses this technique and this student uses this technique, it kind of, personalizing their study habits, but also teaching them ways to relax, like telling them don't overstudy, because then there's some kids that are constantly studying, and you have to worry about them burning themselves out. So remembering to tell them to breathe every once in a while, take a break, do something else, step away from the situation when you're starting to get, stressed out, and then come back to it. Some of the things I tell them, the good old tension breaker scream from summer school, from the 80s, I tell the kids, just put your hands down, ground yourself, and then just scream and release, your stress. But I think the biggest thing is now all the resources that we have, the variation, and kids can kind of tailor their style of studying and finding the right techniques, whether it's just flashcards, rewriting notes, self-quizzing, playing a Kahoot or the quizzes and all that kind of stuff.
I think the biggest benefit for students in taking an AP history class primarily is just to stretch themselves beyond what they have done already in high school. Students that made it in college or even honors can really stretch themselves into what will prepare them for college, an actual college level course. In particular, the skills that they learn in an AP history class are useful whether or not they pursue anything to do with history later on in life. Things from source analysis to writing under duress to making coherent, cohesive arguments. These skill sets are extremely rigorously taught in the AP curriculum and will serve students well no matter what they study in college or no matter what job they go into. One thing that I like to bring into my AP history classes is something that's very dear to my heart, which is living history. I think that history is so often very dry and boring off the page of a book. But as a historical reenactor, I know the value of students actually seeing people in historical attire, bringing in actual artifacts from the past, whether it is a musket that was used by colonists in the American Revolution, or a cannonball used in the American Civil War. These sorts of things bring history alive for students in a way that they often have never had before. And I think it's just so important getting to see the real life quality of history and just to connect with the material in a very real and tactile way.